Everyone. Thanks everyone for coming. It's really important that you get the most out of this webinar. My name is Nick McLean, and I'm committed to all things team growth. And this is the first webinar that I've launched since uh, co-founding and building the Reside platform, a team service platform for teams across North America, recently acquired. And now I'm moving on to focus on team growth and offering really free content for team leaders that are committed to growing and scaling and being profitable the right way. For those that know me, welcome back. Thanks for continuing on the journey. I started a real estate team in 2011 as a brokerage, a team rich, and quickly grew that to one of the top 250 teams in the nation in a marketplace of 50,000 people. I like to tell people, no matter what marketplace you're in, metro marketplace or small marketplace, you take draw a circle, draw a square, 250,000 people, you have more than enough in inventory, marketplace, opportunity to sell 500 homes. And if you want to go expand even further to 500,000 people or a million people, the upside's even greater. But you can take an area of 50,000 people like I did and sell 500 homes a year and absolutely dominate. I find team leaders try to expand too quickly or expand too far, and they lose their reach. They lose their impact because the number one impact you can have is the proximity. And that proximity is the proximity to the leader. And your organization is capped by the level of your leadership, and that leadership is you. So your business is tied to, or it is already in you. It is you. So, what I want you guys to think about as we go on this journey today about top talent is there's there's when you start building a real estate team like I did, you look for people that you believe will follow you. So you're trying to find people that are willing to follow you. So that forces you to look for people that are not as talented, less experienced, less worldly, lesser education, lesser IQ, lesser means, lesser success, right? And then you're going to mentor them and, treat, maybe even lesser willpower or less work ethic. And so then you're in this process of I got to onboard and teach and train and develop. And it's a lot of work. But if you find someone that already has talent, already has education, already knows how to shake a hand, look someone in the eye, communicate effectively, write effective emails, right? Show up on time, dress professionally. You don't have to teach them all of that. You just need to teach them real estate scripts, real estate contracts, real estate skills, and your processes. And then they can follow it. They can follow it. And I'm going to tell you story after story after story about how a talented person can join your company and thrive. And I'm also going to show you how to find these people. How to find these people. If you haven't already, I do have a book. It's called Million Dollar Agent. And you can find it on Amazon. Look under Nick McLean, Million Dollar Agent, the proven playbook to build a real estate empire. And it is actually written for you, the team leader. It's not written for the agent. It's written for the agent that wants to build a team, but it's also written for team leaders to follow the blueprint and it has everything in there. But today we're going to go over top talent. And to do that, I'm going to go over the blueprint, the operating system and the blueprint for elite real estate performance. And that's based on a proven story, a proven business, and that's the Nick McLean Real Estate Group that I built in Washington State. About how to find these top people. See, raw talent outperforms industry experience. Raw talent outperforms industry experience. I've hired agents with 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 years of experience to join my team. And I remember one time Chip joined my team, 27 years of experience. And so I said, this is great. This is awesome. He already knows how to sell real estate. He already knows how to write an offer. He already knows how to list a home. So I'm going to skip some steps and just onboard him and expedite him onto my team. gave him a login to a CRM, gave him logins to MLS, gave him logins to everything. And I just figured Chip would thrive. Well, he finally wrote his first offer, and I was appalled. I was absolutely appalled. I started seeing some of his emails. They were atrocious. And then when things didn't go his way, guess what? He blamed other people. See, experienced people, they make the same amount of mistakes just for different reasons. And this funny thing is, because they base their ego on their experience, they start blaming people. It's so weird. I love a new agent, a beginner's mind, because they're going to be more humble and willing for feedback. And what you want to find is talent outside the industry that seeks accountability. There will always be more talent outside the real estate industry than within the industry. And what's great about the real estate industry is that it's limitless. Write down that word. It is limitless. So you might think to yourself, why would somebody quit a career that is providing them six figures, 100,000, 200, $300,000 for real estate? Why would they do that? Well, because there's some principles that I'm going to give you today and explain to you exactly why someone would do that. In fact, I want to hire somebody that's already proven to make 200, 300, $400,000 in another industry because that's their standard. They join my team, they're going to try do everything in their power to replace or grow what they left behind to prove that they made the right call. If you hire somebody that doesn't have a track record for success in any industry, like this is their first opportunity, you might be thinking, wow, they don't want to screw this up. This is their best opportunity they've ever had. But no, what's going to happen is as soon as they make more money than they've ever made before, they're going to slow down. I'll say it again. As soon as someone makes more money than they've ever made before, they're going to slow down. Prove me wrong. I've seen it 1,000 times. An agent finally has a $10,000 a month, a $20,000 a month, a $30,000 a month, and they take their foot off the gas. See, our biggest blind spot is thinking that these people think like us. Team leaders, here's how we think. We're pedal to the metal all the time, but that's not how they are, right? So I want to find people that are giving up a certain level of success and they need to replace it. So the industry standard is that they focus on years in the real estate industry. They prioritize people with existing client lists, and they assume the experience equals competence. It doesn't. Get it out of your mind. Also, I get a lot of team leaders that say, I'm going to go after agents that struggled somewhere else and bring them onto my team, and they're going to thrive. Let me get this straight. So you're saying you have the secret sauce to change somebody's work ethic, competency, and aptitude? Right? Do you have the secret sauce in leads and lead opportunities and lead conversion and automation and scripts that you're all of a sudden going to get somebody that couldn't do it to do it? Because the chances are they had some tools and some resources, they just didn't use it. So I want to get that out of your head. Like taking someone that did two deals and thinking you're going to turn them into 20. No, no, no. Take somebody that has a career, a 20-year career crushing it somewhere else and bring them into your team. So the Nick McLean Real Estate Group standard is this, and I want you to adopt a lot of these things. It's vastly easier to teach a talented, self-directed business professional the mechanics of real estate than teach someone with no worldly experience, right? And you can test this, right? So I seek individuals that are motivated by achievement. They want their next challenge. They're perfectionists, regardless of their experience. I actually want people that have an employee mindset. They've always been an employee. See, if you're selling entrepreneurship, you're selling owning your own business, that's not attractive to people that want to join a team. People want to join a team because it gives them that real estate experience, that commission upside, but also gives them safety and security and stability and mentorship and structure and a pathway that they can follow. Otherwise, they would just do it on their own. So the profile to attract a standout broker or agent on your team is when you run an ad, a hiring ad on Indeed or wherever you put a hiring ad, and I can show you my exact hiring ad today. I want you to put what is potential, what is possible. I made the biggest mistake in my career for many years, and I would tell people what was average, what they could expect, because that's what they would come to me. They would come to me and say, "Hey, Nick, well, kind of give me an idea how much your agents make on your team. Give me an idea of what I can expect so that I can prepare myself for real estate." Because they've heard these horror stories. They've heard this, well, 70% of agents fail in the first 2 years. They might hear that you're not going to make a sale for the first 6 months. I've been told that, I need to have a certain amount of savings before I switch over. And what happens is you start getting a lot of part-time agents on teams because you're selling them this average. You're selling them what to expect in terms of mediocrity. So if I say to somebody, you really need a plan for not making a sale for 6 months, then they're going to think, well, dang, I need another job. If I say to them, the average agent probably makes, $45,000 or $70,000 in their first year, but they don't make any money for the first 90, they're going to say in their head, well, I can't do that. I can't afford that. Therefore, I'll have to get another job. And what happens is these teams have a roster of part-time agents. So let me give you the breakthrough that I had. I don't talk about the average. I don't talk about what to expect. I talk about what is possible. I talk about what the agent, my number one agent makes. They need to be inspired by the top. For instance, if someone comes to me if I'm talking to someone on the phone, they applied for an ad to join my team or my brokerage, I say, "Hi, Mary, it's Nick McLean. I see you're interested in a real estate career." "Yeah, I mean, I'm looking into it." "Yeah, great, awesome. How much do real estate agents make on your team?" Then I'm going to say, "Mary, my top agent made $326,000 last year." Or I've had agents do over $200,000. Or an agent on my team that sells 50 homes a year, which is within the realm of possibility, will make $357,000. So I want you to think about it. If an agent on your team sold 5 homes a month, that's 60 homes in a year, on a 50-50 split in your marketplace, how much money is that? I had an agent on my team in her first full year, not her first, she had 6 months, and then her first full year, she sold 57 homes in her first full year. She made $357,000. That's why it says $357,000. Has nothing to do with splits, right? People are inspired by the top, not the bottom and not the middle, right? So I want you to figure out, you might be thinking, well, I don't really have a track record of agents. Okay, what's the most you've ever made? And you might be thinking, well, I have a different split. I get a full split. It's not about splits. It's about what is possible, right? The opportunity has to be big enough for them to take the risk to transfer over. Now, top standout brokers, I want you to figure this out. Time control. Why would someone leave a job making 200,000, 250,000, 300,000? I've had doctors apply. I've had surgeons apply, CPAs, physical therapists, C-suite people, executives applied on my team. Why would they want to join real estate? Well, they're not challenged anymore and they're not in control of their own time. See time control there? They value control of their own time. It's not that they don't want to work, it's that they want control. Like if you're a doctor, you're at the hospital a lot. If you're a physical therapist, you're at the hospital a lot. You're at the whims of your clients and of your calendar. Monday through Fridays, the doldrums. Okay. Number down below, broader contribution. Why would top talent join real estate? They want to make an impact. They want meaningful work. They want to do something that inspires them and actually impacts the people around them. This speaks to people in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, right? They want to make that impact. Top right, deep connections. The people at work are negative. The boss and the management is too corporate. And they're looking for a deeper relationship with you and with the people within your organization. They're seeking something like that. Maybe they're working from home a lot and they're lonely and they want more connections and relationships. And the connections and relationships within the company, but also with their clients. There's never a dull day in real estate. You need to sell the variety this to this. Real estate is always a lots of variety, challenges, unpredictability, but also high upside. They're journey oriented. They want to have a goal and they want to achieve it. They have a proven track record. They went to college, they got a degree, they got a master's degree, they got a PhD, they did something, right? That's what you're looking for. Now, the pre-interview, what I call the pre-interview gauntlet is really important. So many people have either have too formal of an interview process or no interview process. And so if you take anything away, I want you to take this away. When you get a lead, I, I call them leads. When you get an applicant to your hiring, I want you to call them, text them, email them within 15 minutes, speed to lead. What does that sound like? That sounds like what we tell our agents to do when they get a lead that registers on the website. So it'd be hypocritical of me as a team leader to not have speed to lead as a mechanism for hiring. Am I too urgent? Am I too needy? Am I too aggressive? No. I want to wow them in my velocity and my speed, right? I want to call somebody when they applied on our website so fast. They're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you called me that fast. I wasn't expecting this. So within 15 minutes. Hi, it's Nick McLean. I noticed you just signed up requested information on our Indeed ad. It looks like you're interested in a real estate career. Tell me more. Tell me more. Well, man, can I get an interview? This is the interview. Number two, the dummy test. I absolutely love the dummy test. Is when I reach out to people that have applied on Indeed before 8 a.m. and after 5 p.m. or on weekends. I love texting people at 6:30 a.m. I love texting people at 7 o'clock at night. Why would I do that? Well, if they respond, I got a winner. If they don't respond, you got a dud. I'm sorry. It's just the way it is. If you text an applicant at 7 o'clock at night and they don't text you back, guess what? When you hire them and a client wants to get a hold of them at 7 o'clock at night, they won't respond. My best agents, there's a correlation, speed to response. And there's a correlation between my agents that avoid their phone and agents on my team that look at their phone nonstop. I am shocked that some of my agents like they must text their family and friends 1,000 times a day. They must scroll on Facebook nonstop, right? Screen time is out of this world. There's a correlation between that. There's also a correlation between people that know how to email and the people that don't know how to email. I like to email the applicants too because I want to see them respond by email. I noticed millennials, Gen Zs, they avoid email. They haven't really been taught about that. And here's the thing, baby boomers, they love emails. And so baby boomers have baby 50 people 55 years and older have 74% of all the real estate wealth in America. Therefore, I should probably prioritize the way they like to communicate, which is email and phone. Email and phone. Now, as soon as they respond by text or email, you get them on the phone and you give them what I call the rejection test. So no formal sit downs yet. I listen for the tone. I listen for the pacing. I listen to their professionalism on the phone. Do they sound awesome on the phone? If they don't sound awesome on the phone, don't hire them, please. Like that's immediately a no. But if they sound amazing on the phone, it's a yes. to the next step. But I'm going to tell you over the phone, I'm going to talk to them on the phone. I might say, real estate is a sales job and you get paid for you eat what you kill. And that's just the way it is. That's the downside. The downside is if you don't sell anything, you don't make anything. But the upside is tremendous. It's limitless. I had an agent make over $300,000. You could make $1 million in a year. It's absolutely in the realm of possibility. It's all determined by how well you respond. So tell me about something in your past, something that was hard that you had to overcome that you're proud of. That's an interview question. Tell me about something in your past that you had to overcome, something really, really challenging that you're proud of. Tell me about some of your achievements. Tell me about, see, I'm looking for winners. Tell me about some of your achievements. Tell me about your competitiveness and your competitive nature. Have you ever been on a team? Competitive, been in sports, competed in a job, won an award or competed for awards. So I'm just asking them about you. Tell me about that. Okay. What about sales? So watch this. Have you ever had a sales job before? Have you ever had a sales job before? Oh, tell me about that. No, you haven't? Do you think you have the ability to sell? Do you have the ability to influence, persuade, guide people to the path to make a decision to or to not buy something or move forward in life? Do you have that ability? Tell me more. If they can't tell you that, tell me more. Tell me more. And then what I want you to do is I want you to say this, right? I want you to say, that sounds incredible. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm not sure. I'm not so sure you have what it takes. And I want you to just to let them respond. How would I know you have what it takes? Basically, you're rejecting them and you want to see how they respond to that, right? Don't rush this part because this is no different than them calling a lead on the phone and them saying, "Hey, it's Nick McLean. You signed up on our website and I'm curious, what areas are you looking in?" And the person on the other side goes, "I'm a little busy right now. It's not a good time to talk." Or the person on the phone says, "I'm just browsing." Or the person says, "I'm not looking. You forced me to sign up." Or I already have another agent. And you're testing to see, can they stay there and continue on and continue on and continue on. And sometimes I love the way someone sounds on the phone, their tone, their pace, their experience. I think they have potential and they failed the rejection test. I flat out tell them, you failed the test, right? In real estate, here's what's going to happen. I tell them, you're going to call somebody and they're never going to be interested. They're never going to be ready. They're always just curious. And so you have to learn how to overcome what sounds like rejection and continue down the path of progress. Just like I asked you, how would I know? Or I'm not sure you know you have what it takes. You didn't come up with something. So let's try that again. Give them another shot. Let's try that again. I'm not so sure you have what it takes. And they should be, well, I really want it and I'll try anything and I'll do whatever. Okay, good. Now we're getting somewhere. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay. Now the in-room architect. Let's say I like everything about them. They don't have a license yet, or they do have a license, or they're working on a license. Okay, most talented people have jobs. Most talented people don't have a license. So you have to have a path to get a license. It's not on this slide, but what I would say is, Sally, I really like the way you sound on the phone. I like how you overcame my rejections. I like your background. I think you have what it takes. I believe in you. I believe in you. If this is true, say it. If they're a dud, if they, hey, I don't have a lot of money, how much does this cost? Well, I'm going through a transition right now. I really don't have a job, and they sound low energy. Move on. Move on. But if they have what it takes, Fast forward. You know what, Sally? Since you don't have a license, but I love your background, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to expedite the process. I'm going to send you a link. I'm going to send you a link for you to sign up for your real estate course. And you should sign up for this real estate course. So, however long it takes in your state, you tell them. In this state, it's 90 hours of online course. I'm going to send you the link. It's $400, it's $500. You're going to sign up. When you sign up for that course, you're going to text me back and let me know you signed up. And then every 30 hours, you're going to give me an update, a status check. Does that make sense? Do you have any concerns? Are you going to do it? Awesome. I'll send you the link. Perfect. I just sent it to you. When you sign up, let me know. That way I know you're committed. If you don't sign up, that's perfect. Then I know you're not committed to real estate, and that's okay. And I will always be here for you when you are. But if you do sign up, then we are tied together. When you get to the 60-hour mark or the 90-hour mark, I'll set up a formal interview and we can meet. But I can tell you this over the phone. I wouldn't send you the link unless I was prepared to hire you. I wouldn't send you the link unless I was prepared to hire you. But hey, everybody here, you don't need to have a formal interview process for people that don't have their license. You don't have to. It's your call. For me, I can figure it out over the phone. They passed the dummy test. They overcame the rejection. I like their background. I'm going to send them a link, right? You should have a pipeline of people right now, 30, 50, 60, 90 people getting their real estate license right now that have the aptitude. Now, also, I expect them to go full time. Well, how long does it take to make your first sale? Well, I've had people make their first sale in 14 days. I've had people make $150,000 in their first 6 months, right? Don't sell them that BS, right? Now, does it take work? Yes. Does it take a little luck? Absolutely. Does it take some willpower? Yes, right? So if I was going to bring them into the office, right, I'm going to go over their goals. What are their goals? 5 years, 10 years. Are they driven? Are they driven by money? This is a big one. Are they driven by money? What are their job types? Are they driven by challenges? What challenges have they overcome that they're proud of? What challenges are they looking forward to? Right? But the money one is tell me about your relationship with money. How motivated are you about money? And here's what they're going to do is they're going to sugarcoat it like they're not motivated by money. Well, I'm really just motivated by this. But I actually want to give them permission. No, it's okay. Money represents the value that I created. Write that one down. Money is a representation of the value that I delivered or created for the person that I serve. Therefore, if I make, there's no unreasonable amount of profit. There's no unreasonable amount of money, unless you're stealing it from people or you're robbing people, right? But if you're doing money making activities in the right way, you're just serving more people. And because real estate money is only tied to the result, the more money you make, the more results you made for people, right? So let them know it's okay. Now, in your wildest dreams, what's the most money you would make in a year? In your wildest dreams, let's say you knock it out of the park, what's the most money you'd make that you'd be absolutely thrilled with? Okay, see what they say. They might say 300,000, 400,000, 500,000, a million. Okay, great, awesome. Well, we can break down exactly how many homes you need to sell to make that happen. And I support you every step of the way. Now, one step further. Okay, $300,000. That's awesome. What would you do with that money? How would that impact your life? What's the first thing you would do with that money when you do achieve that? Let them know. Well, I'd pay down my debt. I'd pay off my student loan. I'd buy a new car. I'd buy a house. Awesome. Now you have this big, big why, this big button that you can push nonstop. You can push that thing nonstop. So let's say it's buying a house or a down payment or a second home, right? Or taking care of their families, whatever it is, some big why, I can push that nonstop. So every time they make a sale, I had an agent one time and his goal was to make enough money so that he could move his mother from California to Washington. because his mother needed help. She was a widow. She was taking care of herself, but she was getting to the age where that was becoming harder and harder, and every day that kind of wore on him. And so what would happen is he would make a sale, and I would go to his desk. His name was Lane, and I'd say, Lane, congratulations on your sale. I know how much that means to you. You're one step closer to getting your mom up here. You're one step closer to getting your mom up here. It wasn't like, hey, congratulations on that sale and yeah, blah, blah, blah. It was like, no, you're getting closer, man. Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep going. Because what happens is a lot of times agents, they make a sale and they slow down, they spend the money, and then they get into this cycle. So it's always you're getting closer to something. What is that? Is that their goals? Is that 24 sales, 30 sales, 40 sales, or is it to what that the sales are going to mean in money and what can money do for you? Okay. Because if you can like articulate in the interview that they are going to achieve something personally or professionally that they're not getting somewhere else, they're going to leave that $200,000 job, that $300,000 job, right? They haven't experienced that level in the corporate world, the private world, or even the public sector. This isn't what they experience. They don't experience self reflection or accountability or personal or professional growth. They don't experience that. Okay. Now, a scholarship program should be one of the tools in your toolbox to get talent. Scholarship is like a dog whistle. A dog whistle in marketing is a whistle that only dogs can hear. So a scholarship is a whistle to only people that would hear the word scholarship. And who hears the word scholarship? People that are formally educated, that strived in high school to go to college and get a scholarship, that strived in athletics to be a performer to get a athletic scholarship. Maybe somebody that didn't do that, but they regret it and now they want a scholarship. A scholarship means that there is an actual path, a program. There's an application process for a scholarship. There's a gift or a grant. But scholarships aren't free. Even a college that grants a scholarship can take it away from you if you don't perform. So scholarship means you do also need to perform. It's not a handout, right? This isn't a handout. So I love scholarships. So the way I do a scholarship is we provide reimbursement scholarships for a 90-hour state course. If they apply and I approve them, right? They complete the online course in 90 days. They provide weekly progress reports and mandatory milestones. As you can see, like, hey, Sally, I'm going to give you a scholarship because I believe in you. The scholarship is for the course. You will sign up for the course. And upon completion of you're going to put it on your credit card, but upon completion, I'm going to immediately reimburse you for that course. Every 30 hours or every 24%, 25% of progress, you're going to give me an update. If you fail to update me, that's like failing to update your client on a closing. Tell them that. Like if you can't update me, then you can't update your clients, right? So really, the process is the interview, Sally, but I believe in you and I'm not going to let you fail, right? So here's how the payout works. Now, sometimes everybody, I will say, I'm giving 5 scholarships where I pay for your course up front, or I'm giving 10 scholarships. So let's say a course is $500, 10 times 500, that's $5,000. That's the question. Would you pay $5,000 to get 10 agents to join your team? That's a no-brainer. That is absolutely no brainer. I know people that will spend $5,000 on leads and technology and CRMs or a referral fee. I mean, let's be honest, people are paying 25 to 40% referral fees that they have to work when you can just do a scholarship. So the scholarship is massively beneficial and it's huge. So people want to know that you have a plan for them. A talented person is not going to join your team unless they know for a fact that you have a pathway for them, a system, a training protocol. So when I talk to my agents, I say, Sally, you're going to sign up for the course. You're going to finish the course. Once you sign up, once you finish the course, we're going to put you into our onboarding boot camp. It's a 6-week program designed to get you from zero to hero, to go from 0 to 90 hours more experienced than a 9-year veteran. I'm going to train you so at the end of 90 days, you're going to be better than most agents. I promise you that. Okay. So I'm going to get you in the environment with a director of sales or myself. We're going to do in-person trainings. We're going to do some Zoom trainings. We're going to transition you, right? So here's what I do. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 8 to 10 a.m. You're committed to coming to trainings for 6 weeks. At the end of 6 weeks, I either sign you off or we continue to go. And you might be thinking as a team leader, I don't have time for that. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you don't have time not to do this, right? A team leader should be training their agents Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So what I do is if you're new to the team, you come in at 8 and you train from 8 to 9 or 8 to 8:50, you take a break, and then you join the regular team and I do training for the regular team. And guess what I do with the regular team? I just do more onboarding for them. They don't know it, but I'm retraining my people. And know this, that it's just as easy or probably easier to train 5 people than it is to train one. So if I can get 5 scholarships or 5 new people to join at the same time, it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. So write this out. What does 6 weeks looks like? Don't overthink this. Don't overthink your onboarding, right? It's one script for sellers. It's one script for buyers. It's a follow-up process. It's an overview on your CRMs and your tags and your stages. It's the automation. It's setting them up on the MLS and the associations. It's showing them how to do the MLS. It's showing them how to write a contract the various different ways. And then maybe it's just job shadowing you. Team leaders still in production, I think you have it easier than people out of production. I'll just say it. See, team leaders in production, you might be saying to yourself, I don't have enough time to train agents. No, no, no. You have it easier. You have more time. You're just not thinking they should ride in the car with you. I once was coaching a team leader that was doing 500 transactions a year. This team was doing 500 transactions a year. The team leader was doing 150 of it. Now, I don't know about you, but I've never sold 150 homes in a year. My best year, I sold 88 personally. And that's like overwhelming. He's doing 150 deals. And he goes, I don't have time, Nick. He wanted out of production. He's like, man, teach me how to get out of production. Like I'm over it. I go, well, he goes, but I don't have time. I go, you need to mentor somebody to take over your position. I don't have time. I said, really? I go, how many seats are in your car? When you go to these listing appointments, how many seats are there? He goes, 4. I go, well, you got a passenger seat. And I was a commercial airline pilot. And we would always fly with a co-pilot. In fact, I never had a flight as a commercial airline pilot without a co-pilot. So bring someone along with you every single time. Every appointment, you need somebody. And maybe grab the person or persons you see that have the highest potential and give them everything. Teach them everything you do. See, you're not doing it because you're scared that they're going to leave you and they're going to take your tricks and your secrets. That's not true. If you get a listing partner that knows exactly how to do your listing presentation, exactly how you do it, basically becomes you, you're going to get them for 3, 4 years. And yeah, they might leave you, but you're probably actually going to get more time out of them than less time out of them. So team leaders in production, absolutely take people with you on your appointments. And it's going to hold you accountable to a process. You've been winging it, and maybe you just don't want to show them that you don't have a process, so you can start documenting it. Now, the tactical weekly engine, this is what I expect all my agents to do during onboarding. Now, in the first week, I don't expect a lot of phone calls, right? I don't want them to get crushed, demoralized, or actually find out how boring or brutal this industry can be, right? But after that, I'm looking for 100 outbound calls a week. per week, 2 hours of prospecting and follow-up. So 1 hour prospecting and 1 hour follow-up per day. 30 minutes of role play with either your trainer, director of sales, me in the car, or a partner that I assign you with, or a partner that you're onboarding with. And 20 and we're looking for 25 connects. 25 connects a week. Now there's teams out there with higher standards. There's teams out there with no standards. What you need to know is whatever standards you have, you hold and you inspect. As soon as you set a standard and you don't inspect it, you no longer have one. So after week one, they may not have hit their standards. You need to point it out. Because as soon as they notice that you don't look, you're done. Okay. So we're looking for speed to, I'm looking at speed to lead. I'm looking at inventory, and they're changing the statuses. I'm actually more concerned with their process and not the results. So let them know that, like, Sally, you're going to be going through this process. I don't expect any results from you, but I do expect you follow the process. Right. So if I'm going to look at anything, that's what I'm going to look at. So I'm going to look at your communication. I'm going to look at the mottos and the catchphrases. I'm going to be looking for overcoming like rejection, which is just browsing, just looking and having longer conversations. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 minute conversations or longer. I also expect your desk to be neatly cleared. And also this, I expect you to have an office at home, a dedicated space in your house that you can work from. I found this to be true, everybody. The agents that have that there's a correlation between agents that have a place to work at home and their sales. The ones that don't, they struggle. But my top agents have like a desk or an office or something like that, especially after COVID. You don't need an in-office brick and mortar anymore. You just need to make sure that they have an office at home. Zooms, video on. Dress code, obviously, strict business casual, professional, no jeans, your rules, whatever they are, you told them to that standard. Now, top talent actually want to have some level of stepping stone towards progress, right? So it actually helps that you don't give them everything. See, we think to hire somebody, we have to give them everything all at once. Oh, well, to get them, I got to give them a good split on their sphere. I got to give them a good split on what they generate. I got to give them listings. I got to give them buyers. I got to give them everything. That's not true. You just need to give them a pathway. So here's the stepping stone I recommend. Number one, start them off with buyers. Absolutely. You're going to work with a heavy dose of buyer leads. Now, a lot of these buyers own homes. So this is what you tell your buyer specialists. You're going to be working with buyers. A proportion of those buyers own a home. As soon as you find out they own a home, you're going to team up with a listing partner, myself or someone else, and you're going to co-list it together and you're going to learn the ropes. You're going to get 15%. 15% for calling a lead, finding out they own a home, and then co-list it. So you get paid a little bit, but what you get paid more in is experience. After you've done three, so you've generated three listing opportunities to the team and you've gone through that process and have been trained on listings, you can become a listing partner. So I say three co-lists or 30 closed transactions. Once you become a listing partner, you can do listings and buyers. And then you can become a senior broker. And this is an expert tier, right? And this might be year 4, year 5, year 6, year 7, right? So you can have different pathways. So this is a fee or commission architecture you could use on your team, but it might be 50-50 splits on buyers, 35% on listings. Senior brokers might get 65% on past clients or repeat clients, right? But be very careful in that senior expansion, okay? Transaction fees, $300 per transaction fee. That should be collected by the team leader. Monthly broker fees. There should be a monthly broker fee to the team, not to the brokerage, to the team. The team should be getting transaction fees. The team should get monthly fees. And if your team's getting double dipped by somebody else, then you got a problem with your model. Personal real estate, what happens if they sell personal, right? And what's the prerequisites? License, they got to get to be a buyer's broker, you got to get licensed and pass the onboarding. To be a listing broker, 30 closed deals, right? Senior broker, maybe you opt out of the lead program, or if you're in the lead program, there's certain requirements. You got to be on the team for 4 years. For me, it's about 4 years, 5 years before you can get sphere of influence or past clients. Okay, repeat clients. Okay. Expansion broker is someone that lives far away. So outside of our normal operation. So I'm expanding into a suburb or another town or another city, right? Now, for all of you that want to grow, 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 right? You want to control, control, control. To control, you want to control some of your opportunities. So if you can generate lower funnel opportunities for your team, like through an ISA, so an ISA sets an appointment for an agent, then you should have an adjustment. There should be an adjustment to the split. So if they are on a 50-50 split, and the company sets an appointment for something over $500,000, they would get 40%, not 50%. So there's an adjustment. There should be an adjustment because you paid for the labor and it was a lower funnel lead. Hey, Zillow's charging 40% for low funnel leads. You should also create your lower funnel leads and be a profit center. If not a profit center, it should at least pay for your ISAs and their bonuses. Okay. So I'm going to open up. There's a little bit more to this, but not really. Not really. But I wanted to open this up to Q&A. If you have any questions, you can go into QA. Before I do that, or as you're thinking of questions on these slides, and you can get copies of the slides, no problem. I want to let everyone know that on April 16th, I'm running a private mastermind in Florida. If you can make it to West Palm Beach, Florida on April 16th, or by April 16th, you're going to meet with myself in a private room, and I'm probably limiting it to about 10 team leaders. I'm going to be operating the mastermind. One of my best friends, Lance Kenmore's coming. He runs a seventh level brokerage and team in Washington State and a property management company with over 650 doors. He also owns other businesses, quite entrepreneurial, seven-figure, eight-figure businesses. Andy Mulholland is a financial strategist and fractional CFO for top teams across North America. I think he probably has 190 clients, so he sees the inside and outs of every scene, every team leader in the country's P&Ls. He knows how much he should be spending on marketing, what lead sources are working, what lead sources aren't working, so on and so forth. You're gonna learn from him. You're going to learn from Dustin Runyon, number 10 in EXP. He's a premier leader. His team will sell over 1,000 homes this year. So if you want to be in this room, it's McLean Mastermind. I'll put in the Q&A. McLean Mastermind. You can reserve your seat. And really, I just want to get you here, right? I just want to get you here. So that's why general admission's only $297. If on Wednesday night we're going to have dinner together, so there's a VIP experience where you can have dinner with myself and the speakers for $697. That includes your admission, right? This is in West Palm Beach, Florida. Airbnbs are, I think, the way to go down there. It is at the Ben. The Ben Hotel is amazing. It's high end, it's luxury. It's probably $750, $1,000 a night, but you can get an Airbnb for 300, 400 a night. So that's a great thing to do. Awesome. So we got a couple questions in here that say, what's the weekly success tracker in Diamond Dozen? Wow, you were looking closely. You were looking really closely. So basically, a weekly success tracker is a form I can get you, but they track their calls and their contacts for the week. That's it. Calls, contacts, appointments, and then they turn it in. So it'll say Monday, and they keep track of it. They tally up their calls and contacts. Tuesday, calls and contacts, appointment. And you might say, well, it's in the CRM. Nah, I don't like the CRM. I want this with them and I want them to turn it in. The Diamond Dozen is a list of their top 12 clients. It's a list of your top 12 clients, and I might ask for a copy of it. So I'll say, Alex, hey, turn in your Diamond Dozen to me. I want to see who your top 10 clients are right now, either under agreement or you met with. And if they don't have 12, then put how many do you have? How many buyer service agreements do you have? How many listing agreements do you have? Give me your top 12. If you don't have 12, give me seven, right? If you don't have seven, give me five. Give me something, right? That's what those two things are. All right. What questions do you have? Any other questions you guys got before I let you all go? Down in the Q&A, you can put the Q&A. All right, good. Good, good, good. All right. So we'll end with this McLean Mastermind, if those that can come to Florida. And then every Tuesday, Team Growth Tuesdays. I'll email everyone, teamgrowthtuesdays.com. We do a weekly team meeting for team leaders. All right, take care, grow a big team and sell a lot of homes.